What's up, everyone? Been a while, but today I have a very special thing that was actually sent to me. As y'all saw from my last knife roll video, I like to use Japanese knives, and my petty has had the same handle on it since I bought it, and it's time for an upgrade. All right, as y'all can see, this petty has a very common D-shaped handle. It's made from, I want to say, beechwood, a very inexpensive wood, very cheap. It works well, but in saying that, I hit up somebody on Etsy by the name of Prismaknife. I'm be posting all their ads after this, but they made me an extremely beautiful custom handle. I mean, this thing is gorgeous in person. The camera does not do it justice. They did such a great job with this. And the guy was very nice. He was very adamant about making me the best handle that I wanted. And I'm just extremely happy with this. And not only that, but he was nice enough after I told him, yeah, I've been looking for probably 2 years now to replace my petty handle, but nobody sells just a petty handle. They sell full-size wall handles. He said, not only will I make you one, but I'll do it at the very average price I sell all my handles for, except for his more custom-made, epoxy handles. Those go for way more than what I bought this for. But he even sent me a small gift. And this might not seem like a big thing for, just to send out, but I mean, he really didn't have to do this. It's a nice little chef knife necklace. I'm definitely going to be wearing this to work. Yeah, I do need to tuck it underneath my chef coat whenever I work, but I mean, this is just such a nice thing to give. He really didn't have to do this, but it's just one of those cherries on top. Like, finally, I get a handle after years of waiting and looking online. And I broke down one on Etsy and I messaged somebody who made handles that looked really nice. And he was just an absolutely amazing person. He even sent me this gift, and I mean, I'm just over the moon with how I feel right now. When it comes down to the finish of the handle, the look of the handle, the feel of the handle, and even the customer service that goes along with it. And again, he goes by Prismaknife on both Etsy and Instagram. And also go check out his wife's shop. I'm also going to be posting her links and her ads as well, because she makes jewelry, I believe. I only checked that out once or twice, but I mean, if this is the level of customer service and quality that he provides, I am 100% sure myself that his wife provides the exact same. But in saying that, today we're going to be showing how to change a wall handle, especially one that is already on your knife. And from there, we're going to put on a new one. And I'm going to show you how to set that for your hand and the way how I like to do it. All right, let's get into it. Okay. As y'all can see, I'm going to be doing this inside my kitchen. Now, this knife handle, I sealed with beeswax. No, wait, I'm incorrect about that. I actually sealed this one with, hot glue. Now, the very traditional way to do it is with beeswax. My Santoku, the one that I did replace the handle on years ago, I used beeswax on. Unfortunately, since then, I lost all my beeswax. And this one I set with hot glue. And if y'all don't know, majority of Japanese knives that come with these handles are just friction fit in. Now, all you need to do is just take a piece of wood, put it right there to the handle, make sure it extends past the blade, and you take a hammer and you can literally just knock them off and they'll just go off. But ones that have adhesive or some sort of glue like this, you have two options. You can either use boiling water, which we're going to do today. So I'm just going to set my knife in here like this, put the water in there, and then the hot water is going to heat up the glue and I could just pull this off. Or you can put it in the oven. And I don't really like the idea of doing that because if you're not careful, it can mess up the heat treatment. I know that's a very hard thing to do, especially with these knives, but I much rather play it safe. I'm not too concerned about about this handle getting wet. I do not plan to keep this handle afterwards, as of course it will be waterlogged and I will have no use for it. But yeah, we're just going to take this boiling water here, We gotta be sure we're real nice and hot. And I'm doing this over a towel, of course, so if I spill some water, it's okay. Now we're going to submerge. We just gotta give this some time. I'll set this off to the side as we will not need it anymore. Anyway, yeah, so this is the way how a lot of people do it. Don't use epoxy. I'm really against using epoxy for these types of things. Yes, you can. Yes, it'll be okay. But if you ever do need to change out your handle, you essentially need to take a chisel and chisel around the tang of the knife in order to actually get all the epoxy off and get the handle off. It creates a lot more work, it uses a lot more time. And also too, I like to stay relatively traditional whenever I do things like this, because this is a very personal thing. For a chef, their knife is a very, very personal thing. Well, you need to understand, when you spend hundreds to thousands of hours working with a tool, that tool becomes yours. After you grip it so many times, after you use it so many times, the way how your body moves, that knife changes with you. Especially these carbon steel knives, they change with you all the time in the way how you work. Okay, let's see here. Nope. Anyway, yeah, so carbon steel, for those who don't understand metallurgy, there's thousands and thousands of types of different steel. The two common types that a lot of Japanese steels will use, well, three. The most common one is going to be VG10. 101 companies use VG10. There's origami white paper number 2, which is so origami white number 2 is a mixture of carbon steel mixed with some stainless steel, so it's less reactive. But in saying that, it still patinas and it still reacts with what you cut. This, on the other hand, is shirogami white paper number 1 steel. So this is extremely reactive steel. This steel is, how should I put this? It reacts with everything. If you leave it in water too long, it will rust. If you leave it with acids too long, it will rust. If you just don't take care of this knife, it will get damaged over time. So these knives are about discipline. And I just say that with any knife. Knives are about discipline. Always keep them dry, always keep them sharp, and always keep them protected. So yeah, this knife is Shirogami White number 1 steel. It's still not coming. I do feel the glue loosening, so it just needs a little bit more time. I might even go for round 2 here. So, always be sure your knives are dry, wiped off, clean, protected, and always keep them sharp. This petty I've had since 2018, I want to say. And this petty is actually no longer made anymore. This is a Tojiro Shirogami petty. And even at the time of buying this, it was hard to find in stock. I don't know if it because they're getting phased out or they're super popular and people were just buying them left and right. But yeah, it was extremely hard to find this petty. So when I did find a website that had it in stock, I scooped it up. And this thing has been an absolute workhorse. I mean, I'm sure y'all can see the patina. This originally had a, what's the finish called? Koryuchi finish? It's a blackfish, blacksmith finish that used to be on here. This used to be black. This used to be a lot more bright silver, and this used to be the very edge of it used to be very bright. But over time and overuse, the finish slowly came off because I was using a lot. I was cutting a lot of various steak foods with it, and everything darkened through patina. Luckily, this knife has never rusted over, and I've always taken very good care of this petty. I did buy a new set of knives that came with a new petty, but the profile of this petty, I always find myself coming back to. It's such a great knife. I wish Tojiro would bring back their Shirogami line, because I want to buy the Gyoto, I want to buy the Korosuke that they used to sell, the Deba, but unfortunately it's just no longer available. So this knife is very special to me. I can't buy another one, and I want to give it an absolute honor since it's been working with me. And saying that, Prismaknife has provided me a very, very nice handle, and I'm honored to be able to use handmade craftsmanship with handmade craftsmanship. It's just a nice, trying to think of the word. I don't want to say symbolism, it's symbiosis. Like, handmade stuff with handmade stuff is the way I should be, because these particular handles are, it's called mass-produced in factories. Now, I'm able to grab this knife a little bit more liberally because I'm wearing gloves, but there we go. Whew. Okay, luckily we do not need to go for round 2. So this is what most Japanese knives look like without a handle. You just have a tang that gets hidden inside. Alright, let me set up here for the next steps. Alright, so I was trying to work the handle onto here, and as you can see, this is going to be an absolute beautiful match. But the tang is giving me a little bit of difficulty here. It's just ever so slightly, I don't even know if I can get that on camera, it's ever so slightly a little bit wider than the slit that was cut into this. Now, I did tell Prisma to make it a 3mm 3mm wide slit in it. So that's absolutely not his fault. This is like a 3.1 difference. Like it's such a minute difference. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this. You know, I might not even use glue on this, but I'm gonna see how wide the slit is after I do it. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna wrap it with a towel, like so. I'm just going to take my hammer and check it out real quick, because we got to work this very slowly. I don't want to crack the handle. That's actually something that a lot of people don't think about. These handles will crack if this goes wrong. And let's see here. Okay, yeah, so let's see if I can get this on camera. There's going to be dead space in between the handle and the blade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just set this in, and then I'm going to take it back off, so that way it will be adjusted to the width of the tang. Now, what a lot of people will do is they'll actually use a torch, but unfortunately I can't find my torch. I just moved. And they'll heat the tang up, and they'll set it into the handle hot, so that way it kind of burns the material around it to create the proper width. Unfortunately, I don't have the luxury of doing that. Just need to get this a little bit more in, and I'll feel good with it. Almost there, as y'all can see, just almost there. But the reason why I want to seal this with beeswax and or hot glue is mainly because I don't want water seeping into the tang and making the tang rusty. That is something that can happen, so I just need to be aware of it. Okay, that's actually something I could do. That right there feels pretty natural to me. I'm going to take my gloves off real quick and give it a quick check. Alright, we're back. So what I did was I took some masking tape. I put it at the very base of where I want my petty to be set. And I also guard the sides from it because in order to get this off, I'm not going to be able to pull this off, of course, because I had to use a hammer just to knock it in, so I'm not going to be able to pull it off. So this is traditionally how a lot of people do it. You know, I'm actually going to take some more masking tape. I'm going to put it on the edge right there just to try to prevent more marring on the handle. Don't want that. So I had to go cut a chunk of 2x4. Now I'm just going to take it in. And there we go. Handle is off. That's traditionally how a lot of Japanese handles are actually removed. Again, you just take a chunk of wood and you just slowly tap it off. Alright. Now, what I'm going to need to do is stop messing around with this piece of tape that's annoying the hell out of me. Alright. So another thing I'm going to do is, since I'm going to be setting this in with hot glue, is I'm going to take this little bit of masking tape that I have here and put it over the slit like that. Go ahead and just kind of get it peeled outwards. There we go. Just like that. So that way, whenever the hot glue does spill over, I can easily just take the tape out, cut around it with like an X-Acto knife, get the little bit of excess off, and clean up would just be a lot more easier then. So I have me some hot glue beads that I cut up. I cut them, of course they were circular, so I just cut them into half moons from there. And now I'm just going to start throwing them in here. Okay, I have this mostly stuffed up with hot glue beads. Now, of course, we're going to need to use some heat on this tang. And this is normally where you really want to be using a torch to do this. Because a torch will be a lot more direct heat. It will be a lot more efficient heat than using a burner like I am. But like I said, I don't know where my torch is. I also don't think I have any butane for my torch. So this is what we're doing. And I mean, it will work. I know it will. This is the first time I'm doing it like this, so just gotta have some faith, you know? There we go. Alright. Now we're just gonna go in with it. Right there. Woohoo! Now see, we are having some spillover, which is what we want, because that's going to seal the gap that is around the tang of the knife. And the reason why we want to seal the gap, and this is the reason why most people replace the handles on these knives if they don't already come glued in. And a lot of producers in Japan will not glue in the handle. And the reason why is because I know people, for one, wants to replace it. And two, when you seal it in like this, water can't get in. Like I said, this is a very reactive steel. Shirogami white paper #1 steel is super, super reactive. So I don't want water getting into the tang and into the handle, not only ruining the handle from the inside, but also going to weaken my tang over time. And eventually, it will ruin the knife. Because, let's just say for some reason, pressure gets applied like this, right there, right where the tang and the handle meets, and either my handle can snap off, or the tang is so rusted through and so fragile that it just snaps, and I can't buy another one of these, and I'm gonna be out one of my favorite knives. But yeah, there we go, guys. I'm gonna give that just a few minutes to cool off. You know what? I'm actually gonna set this in the fridge or the freezer, just to kind of speed along the process. And I'm gonna go grab my X-Acto knife real quick as well. But yeah, isn't that just a gorgeous handle? Like, that is not, like, this does not do it justice being on video. In person, this is such a pretty handle. I love this. All right, guys, I'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. So, it's gone. Got my razor. And all we're gonna do is just slowly skim the top of this. It really wasn't that much spillover, which is good. Of course, I don't want to cut into the handle. Now we could take all this off. A little bit, but did not come off with it. So we gotta be very careful with our knife. Of course, the last thing that we want to do is scratch up this gorgeous handle. Really just trying to take my time here with this. Alright, and there we go. So now we can take off. Well, actually, no, let's leave on the rest of this tape, because the last thing that we need to do is seal the wood. Now, there's 100 different ways to seal a handle. Some people like to use linseed oil, beeswax. I'm today using mineral oil. You can easily pick this up at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, any of those fine establishments. You can do this with a paper towel, cotton ball, or just a regular kitchen towel as well. But I heavily suggest doing it with a cotton ball and or paper towel, as they will not absorb the mineral oil the same way a regular towel would. I'll just get this quick once over with it. I mean, that will highlight some of the features on here. Sealing the wood from water as well. You do need to re-oil your handles. If you don't know, if you buy a hardwood butcher block, that's also something that you need to do with your butcher blocks as well, every single like 6 months or so. Just want to take a little bit of mineral oil or beeswax, whatever you use, whatever food safe oil you decide to use, and just give them a quick wipe over. And look at that, guys. An absolute beauty of a handle right there. That is such great craftsmanship. Alright, I'm going to take the rest of this tape off, and we're going to get a look at the final product. Alright, guys. Final product right here. Such a great upgrade. And I know some people are going to be confused why I leave so much of the tang out. That's mainly just so I can get my finger in there and actually get more of a proper grip on it. Because normally when I grip my putty, I put my index high like this. Now I'll do a little pinch grip like that. So that way I can get a nice slicing motion with it. Or if I'm doing something like this, like trying to cut into an onion to get some really fine dices, I can get a really nice surgical grip on there. But yeah, what an absolute beautiful upgrade to my putty. I'm so happy with this. And I mean, I can't really say much more. There's still some residue on the knife here left over from the process, but I'm just going to take some rubbing alcohol and get all that off after the oil on here dries. And yeah, you want to oil your handle about 3 to 5 times, depending. And let it sit about 2 hours in between each oiling to thoroughly let it soak in, and it will be a great seal for your knife to really protect your handle. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I just had to show off my brand new amazing handle for my putty. Again, big shout out to Prisma Knives. I'm going to be posting a link. I'm going to be posting his ats and everything inside the description. And I'm probably going to be posting them somewhere on screen right now. And yeah, these are just amazing, amazing knives. Great customer service. I love this necklace. I really do. I'm going to be wearing this all day, every day. As I mean, it's such a nice gift. It's such a sweet touch to something that's already been an amazing experience. And again, whenever you set these new handles in, oil them at least 3 times before using them professionally inside of the kitchen. 2 hours between each oil. I'm going to be using, you can use acetone, but I'm going to be using isopropyl alcohol because that's just what I have to take out the last bit of residue on here. And yeah, one absolutely gorgeous knife with a nice, amazing handle. I am so happy with this purchase. Thank you again, Prisma Knives. Also, everyone go check out W Energy. Use code BunnyClub at checkout to save yourself 10%. I drank 2 W Energies before filming this. Check out the new Chainsaw Man W Energy flavor as well. It's blood orange and God, it's so good. I've been drinking that all day, every day. Again, big thank you, Prism Knives. Big thank you for W Energy for sponsoring the channel. And I'll see y'all guys in the next one. Just gotta show out the handle one more time. Oh, gorgeous piece of work. Again, guys, catch y'all next one. See ya.